In this 4-part mobility series, we're going to be breaking down what I feel is the most efficient way to approach increasing your range of motion. We're going to be working on exercises on the hips, the spine, and the shoulders. Now I'm going to break it down to the complete beginner, and then I'm going to show you levels of progression so that no matter where you are at, there's going to be an exercise to challenge you. So let's dive right into it. So part 1, we're going to be focusing on our hips, specifically our hip flexors. I've gone through other videos and why I think they're very important, so check them out. But we'll move on from that. What I want to do is, we'll start on the most beginner-based variation. So what I would like to teach you is that there's going to be 3 elements that we need to think about. One is we use gravity to assist us. The second is we would stay neutral. And the third is where we're going to fight against gravity. So what I would recommend for the first variation is we're just going to be seated on a box, a chair, whatever feels relatively comfortable. We're going to be looking to lift the legs. So if it's sitting on the box, we're going to think of it as a march. So I'm going to be lifting my knees on either side. Now for some of us, we're going to think this is pretty easy. For some of us, we're going to think this is challenging. If it is easy, the next stage is that we try to work towards the floor. So we can work on steps, we can work on boxes, or if we're ready, we would then take it down to the floor. So we progressed from doing it on a box. We're now going to take it down onto the floor. So what I would look to do is to try to sit nice and upright. So what I'm trying to minimize is actually sinking down. So if you do find that you're somebody who is quite, flexed in the spine in this position, I would unlock the knees a little bit so that I can sit more upright. And then from there, what you are looking to do is to try to roll your pelvis out behind you. So I'm trying to tip my belly button forward, and then I'm going to try to walk my hands down beside my legs. I'm going to draw my leg into my hip, and I'm going to raise it up. Then I'm going to lower back down. So like the march, we're now using our hip flexor to lift the leg, but when we straighten the leg, we now start to test our flexibility, or specifically our range of motion. So what I want you to do is you're going to go through 10 repetitions and then a 10-second hold. After 10 seconds, we come down and we go across to the opposite side. There is a huge difference between the box and doing this on the floor. So you might need to work, as I said, something lower like a chair, even like some books, until we can actually get to the floor. Now, to make it even more challenging, the next option we would do is we start to fight against gravity. And the easiest way in this example would be to work on some leg lifts. So obviously I'm beside a stall bars. This can be done at a pull-up bar or a squat rack. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to hang. I'm going to start my knees up. And if that's easy, then what I start to do is lengthen the legs. So we can work anywhere from bending the legs to straightening the legs and then parachute back down. Or we can go straight from straight legs, where we would lift them up and lower back down. I always like to work in the rep range of about 10 reps and then a 10-second hold. And the main reason is when we kind of tickle with our flexibility, especially when the legs are straight, we're trying to move in and out of that end range. And then once we have kind of a good understanding of where our end range is, we're then trying to spend a little time in that position. So that's why I usually recommend a 10-second hold.